Plane, which had one of the funniest trailers in a long time. I don't know if
I
you
didn't
saw the
even see
trailer
the
for
trailer.
this.
No, I didn't even see the
Oh,
trailer.
well, so I knew that the movie was called Plane because I think I follow one of the actresses or something. And so I knew this was the thing that happened. But like people who didn't know, the trailer like starts and it's all the action stuff and oh, we crashed and we're here and oh my god. And then the title just goes plane. And it's the most dramatic thing. We're like, that's the title? Just the word plane?
That's interesting because I heard that Gerard Butler they were like trying to figure out a name for the movie, and he was like, no, guys, it's about a plane, so we're gonna call it Plane. So I heard that he argued that. I don't know if that's true,
other
but
things than just this isn't like a Snakes on the Plane situation where that was like a temporary title and Samuel Jackson apparently insisted it be called Snakes on a Plane. Because I
the
remember Snakes on the Plane.
tagline is the
Snakes on a
crash was
Plane had
only
some
the
like
beginning.
generic name. It was gonna be like Flight something something.
No way.
Yes, so Plane, starring Gerard Butler and oh my god, Luke Cage. Mike Coulter, is that his name?
Yeah.
Let me make sure.
We can't be
Yes,
putting out any false info out there.
Mike Coulter and Daniela Pineda, who a lot of people hate because she was in the live action adaptation of that kids cartoon, Cowboy Bebop. Which he doesn't even look like a cowboy in it. It's stupid.
He doesn't. I was just gonna say that.
I never watched the cartoon and I did not intend on watching it, but she did a thing where she was cast in that. People were like, why isn't she sexy like the cartoon? And she did like, the really smart thing where you just get out and shit on your overwhelmingly male audience. We'll talk about Velma in a little bit. Anyway, Danielle Pineda did that. But yes, Plane. Again, a movie that's not really reinventing the wheel. It's derivative of derivative of other films, but it felt like this and like the Olympus Has Fallen movie. I never saw the sequels. They feel like old-fashioned throwbacks to like the 90s action films.
I agree. It's kind of like a melting pot of a lot of different movies.
That era of like Die Hard ripoffs where the everyman hero has to stop everyone. That's like kind of like my favorite genre of action where it's like the everyman guy is up against the odds and or this killer with a past who's actually more noble than you think. And this movie did both of them.
Yes, they did. Yep.
So the story is Gerard Butler is going to fly. You'll never believe this. A plane.
I know.
On New Year's Eve from Singapore to America. He's going to be there for his daughter, who he can't wait to see.
Yep.
But he gets told by the airline that they got to go through a storm because if they go to a certain altitude, they'll save money on fuel and they'll get there. And even though Gerard Butler's like, I can go around, it'll be a little longer. And he's like, nope, this is the route you got to take. And he's like, all right, buddy, I guess I will. And he's there with some guy named Deal.
Yep.
A rookie pilot.
Yep. Rookie pilot number one.
Yeah. Rookie pilot who's visiting him. And then we have Daniela Pineda, as I mentioned, as Bonnie, as like the lead stewardess. And during this, Mike Coulter, his character is escorted onto the plane. He's there for a prison transfer.
He was extradited by federal agents.
Because he was wanted like 15 years ago for a murder, and he's been hiding out, world hopping.
Which seems a little excessive for like one murder. Like I get murder's pretty bad, but you got the guy in shackles, and
we find out like what he had done in they never actually say what the initial murder is, but he kind of hints that it might have been a setup. And knowing the life that he took afterwards, he's probably now wanted for more things.
Yep.
But yeah, so they end up flying through that storm, and their plane gets zapped by lightning. They managed to land it safely. They managed to land it safely on an island in the Philippines, but it is in an island that is taken over by hostile rebels that the Filipino army won't even go to. So they have landed behind enemy lines. Remember that movie with Owen Wilson, Behind Enemy Lines?
Classic movie.
Where where his plane crashes and then he's in enemy territory. Do you remember that one? Do you remember that one?
It's just such an original idea. I hope it's never done again.
There's 3 of those goddamn movies. I don't even know what the
Gosh.
other 2 are about. Behind Enemy Lines is really good. So yeah, it's up to the captain to keep his crew safe. He's got to go and get help from the outside world and make sure that these rebel gangsters or whatever they are don't kill his passengers, because he is responsible for him. He's taking the whole captain thing very seriously. I'm upset that he doesn't wear the captain outfit the whole movie.
I know, he takes it off and wears civilian clothes. Civvies, man, how dare he?
Yeah, what was that? No, I
that.
wanted to see him dressed as a pilot the entire time.
That outfit that he's wearing in the poster, that's what I want him to wear through the whole movie. Not a great t-shirt. Come on.
Yes. But during this, he teams up with Mike Coulter's character. Yeah, and it's a pretty good action flick. It's pretty good. I feel at one point, huh?
I dug it.
I dug
it, man.
I dug it too, but at one point it felt like I would like to see the original script of this, because I feel at some point they didn't know what kind of movie they wanted to make and they tried to do both. Because while this is happening, Tony Goldwyn's character Scarsdale is here to like take care of the situation. He hires a bunch of mercenaries.
Yep.
And I was expecting like what you would normally expect, like kind of like Die Hard when the FBI comes. You would expect this team to show up and give you a false sense of security, like they're here to save the day. But then they get killed, and now the stakes are raised because even the elite. But that doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen at all. And they're kind of just like brushed off to the side. For the most part.
They show up to save a person. They show up to save the captain at one point. And then they're just there for the rest of the movie. Like, do any of them die?
I think one of them gets shot when they get on the plane.
Yeah, no, every single one makes it. But like I felt like maybe at one point they had a script for like a captain and a criminal have to take down this gang. And then they had another script where it's like this elite mercenary team has to save the people. And they're like, let's try to do both. It's
that's a good point.
No, I like the captain in Convict story better than the Deus Ex
Weird
Machina.
Mercenaries. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not, because the mercenaries are never fleshed out that much.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they felt really tacked on. I didn't like them.
Really rushed. Yeah, especially during the climax of the movie, they just show up. And you're like, what? Like, the captain is in the heart of the gangland, and he's like, you're thinking, oh my God, he's about to go down. And then the mercenaries show up, and that's that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very weird. But other than that, I really enjoyed the film. What was this rated, by the way? Because this is another one that felt pretty violent.
Oh yeah, I have no idea. I'm assuming R, but I could be quite wrong about that.
Rate it. What is the rating? Do they not have a rating? I'm looking at the poster. Oh, no. That is the thing. Oh, God. Well, whatever it's rated, it's got some fun violence. Not like bloody violence.
It is rated R. Yes.
It is.
Rated
Okay.
R. Yep.
There's some pretty brutal kills. But if it was rated R, because there's a decapitation, but they cut away from the decapitation.
Yeah.
So
and there's a lot of grim, like with the terrorists with the camera. That just seems very scary.
Real quick, Joey, can you hear the air raid siren going off?
Yep, I tried to ignore it, but you brought it up, so I guess we're going to discuss it.
This is my favorite part of recording things at home is the air raid siren in my neighborhood.
I got to tell you, I'm a little scared.
No,
we're
it's
going to
for
be
the
okay, right? Okay.
It's for the volunteer fire. I called into someone else's podcast, and I was so embarrassed when the air raid siren went off. And I was like, can you hear that? The guy's like, yeah. And I'm like, God damn it.
You don't have to like take shelter or anything, do you? I have extra room up here. I'm only a couple hours away.
For some reason, it's to alert the volunteer firefighters. But every volunteer firefighter I know is like, I just get an alert on my phone or I have a radio. I don't know why this town uses the goddamn air.
It's tradition, it's no big deal. They got to do it. It's for the publicity.
There's a couple towns in this county that use it. It's so annoying. But the one, anyway, I'm not going to talk about the local air raid siren. It's done now. I love
It's
when it
over
goes
with.
off. I love when it goes off early in the morning. That's the fucking best.
I think I would
Anyway,
cry.
but yeah, plain fun action film. It could have been a little bloodier for my liking. And it shouldn't. I would have just left the mercenaries out, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have too. I would, because it like you said, it really felt tacked on when they were in the bus and they
Yeah.
showed up. I feel like there would have been a way to where you could write where they could get away on the bus, get to the airstrip, and then the gang shows up to the airstrip.
Yeah.
So the mercenaries do really feel tacked on, although then you wouldn't have the end sequence where the crew and the passengers, they wouldn't have guns normally, right? So then it would
they could
kind
have
of be
stole guns from the
good point.
But
point.
I like how ruthless Mike Coulter's character is.
Dude, super ruthless. Holy shit.
They kill a guy and they question the other one, and then you see him dragging the body into the woods, and then you just hear him murder the other guy.
And then they make weird eye contact. Yeah.
I thought Gerard Butler was gonna be like, how could you have just killed that man? But instead, Gerard Butler's like, nah, you seem to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because we find out
anything about it.
Yeah, he joined like the French Foreign Legion, I guess, after he escaped his imprisonment and he became like a mercenary himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like when they're going around doing all those stealth kills, like cutting up those guys. The main bad guy, he's just generic movie bad guy. For a movie like this, it's
typical
always better
gang leader, you know.
For a movie like this, it's always better to have like a charismatic bad guy. Again, like Die Hard 1, you have a very charismatic bad guy. And then Die Hard 2, it's kind of like, I am army guy. I am international general guy. It's like, okay, that's not as fun as the previous guys.
That's a good point.
This one have that where he's like, I am just evil guy and I'm bad. It's like, okay.
He just reminds me of the blandness, and this is gonna be a hot take, the blandness of like Roman Reigns. That's what he reminds me. Oh my
god, I was thinking of Roman Reigns when I saw him, and I couldn't think of a funny name for a discount Roman Reigns.
It's like the Kmart Roman Reigns sort of thing. And I was just like, this is rough.